So hi guys, my name is Gaurav. We are here to learn how to start an AI automation agency, and we are here more as a business orientation rather than YouTube pay. There's a lot of different jugaad which are there. So let's see how we can do it. So why are we talking about starting an AI automation agency? Because in 2023 business has almost become disrupted. At the start of the year, a lot of people did not know that there was a thing called GPT, and business has changed so much for a lot of separate segments for content generation and stuff that it's a completely new era of business which has started, because now the capability of AI is that it can kind of replace humans for a lot of things. It's not just content generation. You will probably see today that apart from image, content, video generation, AI can now be used as a decisions engine also. So it can be used to change out the managerial decision making as well. So business is all about simple execution and following of processes and changing itself at times in order to keep our profitability up. But execution, processes and adaptation, AI can do all of that much faster. So as of 2023, we are at the start of a new era in which business will feel slowly changing, but in 10 years it will be a very different game from what we know today. So we are talking here about a blue ocean strategy, which is AI automation agency. It is blue ocean because everybody just has an idea of how to do it, but nobody is actually started it at a mass scale, and it's a huge opportunity in the market right now to create your own clients very easily, and that is why there's so many YouTube agencies. That is why there's so much focus in the market to how to capture this huge segment. Because of that, there is kind of a huge explosion in the market for a lot of not just YouTube videos, Discord channels and stuff teaching about how to start your own agency. But then if you just go on YouTube, and you will be able to see, I just searched it just 5 minutes back, and there's so many different videos. I mean, all of them are there, and what they're teaching is how can you make a no code solution which the client could use by himself also, but then how could you create your AI automation agency step by step using no code tools. And I'll show you a small video of somebody. This guy is 14 years old. I'll play the clip. It's just 2 minutes of video. Listen to him himself, and you people are here, well-aged, business-focused, business-minded people. Listen to him.
And in today's video, we are going to talk about how I signed my first client for my AI automation agency. For those who don't know me, I am Ranveer Singh, 14 years old, from India, and I currently have 2 agencies. First is my video editing agency, and second is my AI automation agency, in which I help business owners and agency owners into automating their some part of the business or even whole business, so that they can increase their profits and save up some time and improve their productivity. Before getting started, I want you to guys let you know that soon I'm going to drop a voice note on my Telegram after the upload of this video on how you can instantly start your AI automation agency and start getting clients in. So if you want to hear that voice note, you can join the Telegram below.
So now I'll stop for a few seconds, but see how he is trying to pitch you to join a group, and ultimately I'll skip a few seconds, but
one of the best platforms for you to outreach. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, I think these all are just now saturated, and all those fake. I got my first client through Discord only. I outreached to him and told him that I can make a custom AI chatbot for all of your clients. And then I just told him all the advantages of chatbots and how he can save up his time and increase profits. He agreed upon that. Then we got on a call, and there we signed the contract for $1,500 per month, where I will be building AI chatbots for his all of the 10 clients for $1,500 per month, and I will be managing those chatbots on his website and also deploying them.
So if 14-year people old can do it, and what they're saying is he just reached out to people on Discord. He said, I'll build you a chatbot. He's now starting to get income of $1,500 per month. He's using no-code tools, which the client himself could actually do. And he is basically, the opportunity in the market is such that businesses are looking for solutions, but they don't have solutions. So I'm here to present a practical solution to you, using which you can actually start your own agencies. So why there is such a big rush for this thing? If you see, when the environment is positive, it is a 100x increase in revenue over just 20 years. In 1995, the entire IT industry was not even $1 billion. Now, just in 20 years, it increased to over 75 billion. When the environment is positive, the entire industry runs explosively with a huge amount of growth. Today we are at such a place that people are looking for AI automation agencies, but they are not able to find where do I actually get my automation from, and they are relying on 14-year-old people selling them a no-code tool, and just any solution will work. So what is a proper solution, and what does an AI automation agency actually do? So let's talk about, we've talked about why. Let's talk about what it actually does, so that you can have a deeper understanding of what automation really is for a business. This is a case study in 2016 under the National Health Mission policy, which was a government level policy of India. The state government of Kerala decided to outsource the maintenance of equipment of all the government hospitals, like X-ray machines and stuff, because their experience was that if we try to manage it, we try to maintain it, it usually, because of government bureaucracy and stuff, it takes 5 days, 10 days for an X-ray machine, and there are so many other life-saving machines that if they are not repaired in 3 days, people might lose their lives. So they said, okay, we'll outsource the maintenance of all of this entire thing. They had a contract for almost 400 crore rupees, which is, I don't know how many dozens of millions of dollars. At that time, the exchange rate was very less. So Kirloskar Technologies, a very good name, reputed company with decades of experience and hundreds of people across the state, was chosen to do the maintenance of this contract. It sounds like a good business, but there was actually a problem that there were very strict penalties on non-maintenance of the life-saving assets. They said if it's a non-critical asset, no problem, you maintain it in even 1 week, that's okay. But if it is a life-saving asset, if it is not done in exactly 72 hours of raising a maintenance call, the cost of that asset will be a kind of penalty for you. There was a formula, but the penalties were exceedingly high. So the penalties were so high that for a couple of quarters they were paying almost 40% of their revenue from their pocket. It was so high. So the only way Kirloskar could manage this entire process over hundreds of kilometers, over thousands of government hospitals, with bureaucracy and everything, was that they had to automate the entire supply chain of information, starting from when the call was raised, to the processing and closing of the call. So fortunately, Kirloskar was my client. We were the agency who helped them create the automation for that. So what we did was, if I can explain you the system, the automation that we placed for them was that we had the entire automation at every step of the way, so that the principles of clarity, the principles of routing information to the correct person at the correct time, and wherever it was not possible, management should be able to see what kind of bottlenecks were there so that they could prevent penalty. One day before the penalty was applicable, the GM of the company should be able to see कि what कल से किस चीज़ पे penalty लगने वाली है, who do I call exactly to save the penalty कि आज के आज ये ऐसे ठीक नहीं हो रहा था, क्यों नहीं हो रहा. तो the system was in such that in every machine we had a barcode like this. Every barcode was scannable for other purposes, but they also mentioned a toll-free number on which a person could call and just enter on a IVR the number of that asset. So that created the call for it. When the call got created, it got entered into our ERP system. So now let me just go back. After the call was created, they wanted that in the ERP system that we had created for them, the call gets shown up in a public dashboard as well. That was one of the conditions of the government, that you have to have a public dashboard so that everybody across the state could see how many calls were raised today, what was the status of each calls, किस हॉस्पिटल में कौन से एसेट्स में प्रॉब्लम है और उनका क्या स्टेटस है. इट वाज अ वेरी थॉरो काइंड ऑफ सिस्टम. सो what happened was that when the call reached the ERP system, there were multiple different channels on which we had to automate the flow of the call. There was a public dashboard, then there was a dashboard for the management itself, then there was a dashboard syncing with the government installations, and when a call comes, it is automatically routed to a mobile app with hundreds of people across the state based on who is the most proximate person to the call, who has the competency to be able to do X-ray machine. Now everybody can't do an X-ray machine or a life-saving thing, and what are the fallback mechanisms for us, how can we save the penalty or service the call in a best way possible. So across hundreds of kilometers of the state with hundreds of mobile app installations, all running through a real-time ERP management system where every call would get routed to them. This was the kind of automation solution that we built.
So, I have a question. Who was doing the call? The hospital?
The hospital was supposed to do the calls, but in a certain cases, when the maintenance person used to visit a hospital, the people used to say, यार आप उसके लिए आए हो पर ये चीज़ भी खराब है, इसका भी डाल, ये critical नहीं था इसलिए हमने डाला नहीं.
And these mobile devices are of the vendors.
The mobile devices are of the Kirloskar people across the entire state who are there to service the call. So whenever a call came, the ERP system routed a call कि भाई इस हॉस्पिटल में प्रॉब्लम आई है, ये आपके पास है, इस मशीन के अंदर प्रॉब्लम आई है, जाओ और उसको ठीक करो. So in the real time there was a priority queue. The mobile app saw it was like an Uber. अब अगला आपका कॉल ये, अच्छा इस हॉस्पिटल में जाओ, अगला कॉल ये. So that was the kind of app we built for them. So just wanted to again give you a high level overview of what an automation solution is. It is a flow of information towards a certain goal which encompasses the entire IT infrastructure of a company starting from their website, their internal controls, their external partners, all of it with a view to the operations कि operations में कहीं भी nothing should stop, nothing should be a bottleneck. So this was the kind of dashboard. आज तक जिंदा है. We built and operated. You might want to scan it and see it. But then this was a real-time dashboard that we built. There was an ERP now. You can't see it. It was all internal and public, private. But from a high-level standpoint, and we are talking about what an automation really is. A traditional automation system is that the entire flow of information goes from one source to the different kind of steps, and through all of the steps there is one source of truth, and that solution has to control the entire system from the mobile app information. अगर क्योंकि it is across Kerala, कई बार क्या है, there is no net, so the mobile app has to have offline systems as well. अगर नहीं आएगा because it's a life critical situation और नेट नहीं है, सर SMS के थ्रू भेजो, information must be updated. So an automation of a thing with hundreds of crores of revenue and potentially hundreds of crores of penalties, an automation system has to be that it has to follow a business process which is linear, which is fixed, it is hard coded. So why not have an AI who can execute decisions by itself? That is what an AI automation agency can help you achieve. What an automation agency does is it helps clients with better execution, implementation of processes and adaptation of processes कि सर ये ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए, ये ऐसे होगा तो ज़्यादा बढ़िया रहेगा. When I was involved with Kirloskar, there was hundreds of places where we got involved and told them, sir, ऐसे नहीं करो, ऐसे करो. I went to meetings with the government and said, नहीं सी sync ऐसे नहीं हो सकता, ऐसे हो सकता. So it is a tight-knit integration within a business and its automation agency. But when you talk about an AI automation agency, now you have the power to be able to give them magically powerful solutions. The opportunities that you can give them can change very dramatically the kind of business that they do. And after some time, the speed of adaptation becomes so important that business becomes a game of bots. So let me show you a video. It's a old video, OpenAI, 3 years old, but it might help you understand how business is evolving.
On Earth, the simple rules of natural selection and competition led to the evolution of increasingly intelligent life forms. Today, we ask if comparably simple rules and multi-agent competition can also lead to intelligent behavior in a new virtual world. These agents are playing hide and seek. These agents have just begun learning, but they've already learned to chase and run away. This is a hard world for a hider who has only learned to flee. However, after training in millions of rounds of hide and seek, the hiders find a solution. The hiders learn to use rudimentary tools to their advantage. By grabbing and locking these blocks, they can create their own shelter. The seekers are locked in place for a brief period at the start of the game, giving hiders a chance to prepare. Even so, the hiders must learn to collaborate, accomplishing tasks that would be impossible for any single individual. The hiders are not the only ones who can learn to use tools. After many generations of failing to break into the shelter, the seekers learn to jump over obstacles using ramps. However, after many millions of rounds of having their shelter breached, the hiders learn to take away the primary tool the seekers have at their disposal. Note that we did not explicitly incentivize any of these behaviors. As each team learns a new skill, it implicitly changes the challenges the other team faces, creating a new pressure to adapt. We've also put these agents into a more open-ended environment, randomizing the objects, team sizes, and walls. In this world, they learn to construct their own shelter from scratch, requiring that they arrange multiple objects into precise structures. To prevent seekers from using the ramps, the hiders move them to the edge of the play area and lock them in place. We originally believed this would be the final strategy that the agents learn. However, we found that after more training, the seekers discovered that they can jump on top of boxes and surf them to the hider's shelter. In the last stage of emergent strategy that we observed, the hiders learn to lock as many boxes as they can before constructing their fort in order to defend against box surfing. So how do agents acquire these skills? They're trained using reinforcement learning, an algorithm inspired by the way animals on Earth learn. The agents play thousands of rounds of hide and seek in parallel for many days. They train against each other as well as past versions of themselves using an algorithm called self-play. Coevolution and competition on Earth led to the only generally intelligent species known to date, humans. While this world is far less complex than Earth, we have found evidence that simple rules can lead to increasingly intelligent behavior from multi-agent interaction. We hope that with a much larger and more diverse environment, truly complex and intelligent agents will one day emerge.
It is not that they will one day emerge, they have started emerging. Now what you're seeing here is that they're playing a video game. But would you understand that business itself is a multiplayer game? Business is about to become a video game that bots play among themselves, and we are just sitting on the sidelines and rooting, अरे मेरा bot बढ़िया करेगा और profit देगा और profit, अरे यार loss हो गया. The better your bot is, the more profit it will run. The worse your bot is against others, it will lose money. Business is about to become that. What an agency truly does is sit with a client, understand their business, give a proper solution. The client is gambling on that solution. If the solution doesn't work properly, the client and its business suffers. The agency will be fired. Simple. So what the other people out there are telling is that you're doing a marginal improvement, but where automation is the core business of the entire enterprise, जैसे कि किर्लोस्कर के केस में था, you can't have marginal chatbots जो लगा लिया and you are trying to show that the conversions of your website people will be 5% better. That would work. So if you're having a proper AAA business, you need to have a open source platform. I'll explain you why. You need to have a time tested technology. You need to have scalable business model that you can put your money in and you can say, yaar, after 5 years I am going to be itne crore rupees ka revenue. That is what a guy who wants to start his own software agency today would say. Na, he would want to raise some money, he would want to invest some money, family se laayega, friends se laayega. He is betting that the money he is investing will grow. So you have to have an ROI. Plus, you have to be able to sell to global clients at not just a $1,500 1 month, but a subscription model possibly which works much better for you. In 1999, when web development companies started to come, the growth of those web companies looked almost like this. They were lying here at that time. The reason was nobody had a standard platform for a website building. After some years, WordPress came. Now it was a much better system कि यार client की requirement आती है, we use WordPress, we install it, themes 4-5 लो, plugins 4-5 लगाओ, धंधा बन गया जी, आगे बेच दो. It is a reliable, proper solution. If the client wants some customization, that is possible. If client says नहीं यार इस theme में ऐसे नहीं, ऐसे कर दो, yes, it is doable. It is a value add to the client for which you have your own web developers. They will charge money and the client is willing to give money. So it is a sustainable business. So before WordPress or before a platform and after WordPress, after a platform, the difference in operations and the seriousness and the quality of the deliverables was much, much better. Why do I say it should be an open source platform? Open source would help you reach out to the clients who want to, for example, today SaaS runs. SaaS is a system by which you can give a component of the business, but you cannot give the entire business. If you want to give the entire business a platform, typically businesses want to run it at their hosting under their supervision. So we have created BizBot, which is a WordPress alternative. Now I'll show you demo for it. This product is still under development. I am the developer behind it. My agency is trying to use this, and I'm calling you people here so that you can start your agencies based on something which is reliable, and you can probably look at it for a serious kind of investment. So if somebody has seen a WordPress site, if you want to manage a WordPress site, let's say admin, okay, this is the kind of interface. If you are running your website on WordPress today, typically you don't want to manage it. You would have ये एक लड़का रख लो यार, वो he will create the post, he will do the themes, he will do everything. मेरा काम business चलाना, I don't want to run it. But what if we are able to provide you a system by which, just like ChatGPT, अरे create a post on Hrithik Roshan, sir ये post बनाऊँ क्या अपने आप. So with the AI going so far ahead and understanding what we are saying, it has to be able to manage itself rather than you having to click अच्छा ये post ऐसा नहीं, अच्छा ये ऐसा नहीं, अच्छा ये ऐसा नहीं. So this is the kind of alternative that we are giving. You want to create a post, or you want to set up an appointment, or you want to send an email, or you want to have marketing data, or you want to run campaigns, anything, just say it. The tool would do it. And let's say you are Kirloskar, मेरे को penalties calculate करनी है, which is something you would not typically find a plugin for. Sir, this is open source. With the code running with you, you can extend it, you can change it. These are the reasons of a powerful open source, and that is why 810 million websites today use WordPress. It is almost 42% of the entire internet, just because it is free. Yes, there are advantages to it, but if you have a natural language interface which is as easy as saying create a post on this, then send it to my clients, काम खत्म. WordPress is good, the LAMP system is good, and that is why there are thousands of web development agencies today in India, in US, and probably outsourcing between themselves. But the power behind it is that it becomes an ideal solution for a AAA AI automation agency, because it is easy to hire somebody. If you want to start your own AAA today, what you would require is, यार मैं थोड़ी ना बनाऊंगा, I have to keep लड़का. Now the children should be around 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. I don't want to keep people of React which are 1.5 lakh रुपए महीना. You want a solution which is affordable, which is manageable, which is reliable and cheap. And लड़के ने मेरे को कहीं फंसा दिया, I should be able to get freelancers for that technology. यार बड़ी अजीब सी रिक्वायरमेंट है, क्या करें? अरे ओपन सोर्स जाके you have a plethora of hundreds of different use cases. You can go and see there, so you will not get stuck anywhere. Now, WordPress is a very paschatya technology, but in the PHP framework itself, the world itself, there are some cutting edge full stack frameworks कि अगर आपको Node.js यूज़ करना है, React यूज़ करना है, Angular यूज़ करना है, Tailwind CSS यूज़ करना है, सर मेरी क्लाइंट की बड़ी अजीब रिक्वायरमेंट है, वो बोलते हैं जी हम तो MongoDB पे ही काम करेंगे, हो जाएगा जी. So this is a cutting edge framework called Laravel, which we have used to create BizBot under it, and there are enormous solutions. Companies like Disney are using it. It is loved by thousands of developers across the world. I've been working on Laravel since 2014. So it is a reliable technology. It is a widely accepted technology. So you can probably, if you start using this software, you can sell it even to the biggest companies of the world and also make a smallest kind of simple system. So now we've talked how you can create an automation agency, details, technical details, everything we might want to skip or discuss later depending on the mood of this room. But how can you do it today? प्रॉपर रिजल्ट्स चाहिए तो प्रॉपर आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. मेहनत आप टाइम की करो, एफर्ट की करो या मनी की करो. मनी माइट नॉट बी रिक्वायर्ड and might only be required if you grow to a certain extent when you say नहीं यार मेरे को 5 लड़के रखने ही पड़ेंगे, क्लाइंट्स में 15 क्लाइंट्स अकेले झेल रहा हूँ मैं और झेल नहीं पा रहा. But if you can see that one 14-year-old child has now sold a solution which is actually being implemented at 10 companies and he's the only developer behind it running a no-code tool, probably you might want to invest your time and effort first. And then you will definitely come at a stage where you want to say नहीं यार बहुत अच्छा scope है, I want to invest 5 लाख रुपए महीना, I want to have a big team because मेरे को दिख रहा है कि 50 लाख मेरे पास आ रहा है. So now I'm not sure if you would like to go in technical details because it is a kind of developer focused thing. But if you have any questions, let's open it up, and if some of you really want to go technical, I can probably go into it. It's information कहाँ से आएगी, कैसे जाएगी, क्या features हैं. Now features we might want to discuss, but how we have built privacy, which even OpenAI is not able to give, we can probably discuss those.